CEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Guten Abend. Hello and welcome to INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio. And thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Frances Leslie Manalili, tuning in live from the city of Frankfurt here in Germany. And I'm happy to be here tonight as one of your hosts. But I'm not alone because with me is also a lovely sister tuning in from Munich.
Yes, hallo und guten Morgen, guten Tag und guten Abend von mir aus dem Süden von Deutschland, aus der Stadt München. Ich freue mich heute, einer eurer Hosts zu sein. Hello and good morning, good afternoon and good evening all the way from the south of Germany. I am happy and excited to be part of today's broadcast. How are you, Frances?
I'm doing very good. Alessandra, thank you so much. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very great. It is quite cold today though, so the weather's not doing so good. How's the weather over there in Frankfurt?
So this week has been a lot of rainy days, also cloudy, but the sun also showed up sometimes. But we are hoping for better weather, especially this week. I've seen that we would reach, I think, in one day around 27 degrees Celsius. So I'm very excited for that. And also for the warm weather that will also start now that summer is getting closer. And yes, so time check for those who don't know what time it is. Here in Germany, it's 8.
Okay, I'll take over for now. Quick time check. It is now 8:05 p.m. here in Germany and currently 3:05 a.m. in the Philippines. So good morning to all those tuning in from the Philippines, to all our early birds. Hello and welcome to INCRadio Central Europe. And tonight we will explore one of life's greatest treasures to us, and it's friendships. And so we invited a guest tonight. Hello, Ate Chanel.
Hello everyone, I'm Chanel Manalili and I'm also with Sister Francis out in Frankfurt, Germany as well. Hi, and I'm so happy to be here once again.
Thank you so much for taking your time to join us here on INCRadio Central Europe tonight. And of course, we want to hear the stories of our viewers and listeners as well. So share your comments and your inspiring friendship stories and tips on building lasting bonds in the comment section. I also want to greet, there are so many comments already. I want to greet Brother Mario Calvello. Hello po, thank you for your comments. Brother Scott Agustin, Sister Cecilia Dibe Barotto. Hello po, Sister Trisha Ikpan, Sister Linda Calvello. Keep your comments coming and we will read them out later. Now, Francis, back to you. Okay, back to me. But before we jump into our conversation, let's play a game first. To break the ice, today's icebreaker game will be... Tech, can you please show us the slides? Friendship in one word. Okay, next slide, please. So we will be asking you a question about a friendship, but the twist is you can only answer with one word. Okay, So, of course, to our viewers and listeners, feel free to join us as well in our game. Just type your answers in the live chat. Hey, let's have the first slide, please. One word that describes you as a friend. Okay, let's hear the answer of Chanel.
Well, this is a very good game. I would say my one word is aloha, which has multiple meanings in Hawaiian, but I'm not sure how to explain it, but it encompasses love, friendship, gratitude, all of those things. So aloha is my word.
Okay, aloha. Um, let's maybe the chat has something as well. Oh, I have here from Japan, Rubik. Love Lebleb. Hashtag Heidelberg. Okay, next slide, please. One word for a good friend. Ooh, just one word. Chanel.
Hmm. For a good friend, okay. Um, I'm probably gonna say this in my answers for later, but uh, accountable.
Ooh, accountable. That's a good word. Um, if I would choose, that's actually quite hard. A good friend, because there's so many things. Um, I would say loyal.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll stick to loyal for now. But of course, there's so many more. Next slide, please, Tech. One word for how friendship feels. Ooh, okay. Chanel, you go.
Okay, I'm always first, huh? I'm just kidding. One word, warm.
Warm? Ah, warm, yes. Especially in the colder days like today. How about you, Francis? Let's hear from you again. One word for how friendship feels like. There you go.
For me, friendship feels um like spring. You know, like different colors, different vibes, I would say. So spring has a lot of flowers to it, and for me, everyone has their own personality, and everyone is blooming. So for me, it's what friendship feels like. What about you, Sister Ali?
For me, how friendship feels like. Actually, I've never thought of this. Maybe the comment section can help me. I have a comment from Sister Trisha Ickban. She says positive. Hashtag Heidelberg. And another comment from Sister Linda Calvelo. She says available. Hashtag Berlin. Hashtag Meissen. Um, I would say how friendship for me feels like in one word is I would also say warm, like Chanel, because when you're feeling down sometimes, or when you just need someone to talk to, it always brings you warmth. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. One fun thing to do with a friend. Okay, Chanel already has one.
I have a good one. It's eat.
Yes, that's one of the best things that you could do. How about you, Francis?
For me, it's I mean, you can do a lot of activities together. So if it's a fun thing, I would say, but that's hard. You can do a lot of things. For me, it would be, I think, um, going out. I know it sounds boring, but it's also like fun thing to do, right? If you're like exploring new cities or, for example, new cafes, right? What you haven't visited before, that's also a fun thing to do. Like things that is also new to you, right? New memories together. So that would be it for me. And yes, so let's also ask you lastly, Alessandra, and then we will move on with our next slide.
One
Okay.
word that makes you smile. For me, one thing that you could do, I agree there are so many things that you could do with friends, but one thing that you could always do with your friends is pray together and worship our Almighty God. Okay, let's move on to the next slide.
Okay, the next slide and question number 5 is one word that means trust. Ooh, a very interesting question. So let's ask Chanel, what is your answer to this question?
Understanding.
Understanding. That's a very good answer to it. It's really understanding. For me, I also feel like that. What do you think, sister or Alessandra?
Yes, I'm just
Right?
gonna hop on the same train as you guys and say the same thing.
Okay, so we all agreed to understanding. So let's see if we also have a last question for our icebreaker. Okay, I believe that was it. So I hope that everyone is ready now for our topic conversation and that you already had an idea on what the topic will be based on for today's broadcast. And it's what we all connect to, right? And it's about friendship, the beauty of friendship, and building lasting bonds through faith. And for that, we have invited Chanel with us this evening. And of course, dear viewers and your panelists, the viewers and your listeners, I would rather say, don't forget, of course, to also give your answers in the YouTube live chat. And we will, of course, read them out during our broadcast as well. So let's ask Chanel. The first question that we are curious to know is how did you meet one of your closest friends and how long have you been friends with them?
I will say my longest lasting friendship is with my best friend named Adara. We've been friends since maybe since we were 5 years old, 6 years old. Um, and we've actually gotten close because of church and the many activities that we've had. And we were always seeing each other. And eventually we just got to hanging out more. Um, the more we saw each other, and eventually we took up different duties in the church. We inspired each other to join, and we've just been best friends up till now, up till this day.
Ooh, that's a very long time. Um, and you mentioned to me earlier that you moved to Germany just a couple of months ago. How did that life change affect your friendship in maybe good ways?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I grew up in Hawaii, and of course, I have friends and family there. And eventually, I moved to Vegas for a short time. Um, but one of the biggest things I've learned uh, having a long distance friendship now is that we need to have a lot of patience. We do need to have a lot of understanding with one another because life is different. The time zones are also different. We're not as close with one another anymore. We're not as available. So I think that once you have understanding and patience with each other in your different situations, and also having that understanding that um, you won't be able to talk to each other anymore because of life as much as we used to. It sets more realistic expectations of how you should regard your friendship. Because if you have too high expectations, especially when life gets so busy for the both of you. It's unfair for both of you in order to maintain a healthy and long-lasting friendship. So just having realistic expectations, being understanding and patient with one another, that has helped me to adapt to this new type of friendship for me.
Yes, and you mentioned things like trust, understanding, as well. Those are key values that everyone has in their friendship. Um, but what do you value most in your friendships, and how have they helped you maintain your friendships over the time?
That is such a good question. I think one of the biggest qualities in friendship that I value ooh, is understanding, like I mentioned before. Um, Accountability as well, understanding and accountability. And I say that because a lot of the problems that friendships have are misunderstandings, not knowing what's going on in each other's lives, or not even having the time to hang out and properly talk it out, communicate with one another. So if you have understanding, you're able to have more grace with your personal situations in life. And I say accountability because there are times when we ourselves may not make the best decisions when life gets hard. And a good friend means that they will call you out or pull you out of that dark place or whatever is going through. So to make sure that both of you are, doing the right thing, making the right choices in life. And I've learned that all the more, especially growing up as a member of the Church of Christ, that there's so many temptations in this world. And I truly appreciate my best friend, Adara, for example, for guiding me in that part of my life when we were so young and so excited about the world but not fully understanding what those consequences are. So having a good friend that will keep you accountable and is not afraid to call you out when you're making bad decisions, those are truly good people to have in your life, don't you think?
Yes, I totally agree with you on that, especially when you share the same values, when you have the same interests as well, that can also have a very, very positive impact and on the longevity of a friendship as well. And you mentioned earlier that sometimes, we have busy schedules ourselves. We may not be able to talk to our friends every day and every moment of our lives, and that can not it cannot it doesn't always impact the friendship in bad ways, but it can be a challenge, especially for you, since you are now living in Germany and most of your friends are either in Las Vegas or in Hawaii or in America. um how do you work through those kind of challenges, and what did you learn from them?
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the biggest traits that I truly appreciate from my friends, like you said earlier, having the same values. When you guys have the same values, you're on the same page. So like leave as little room for misunderstanding as much as possible, while also being, you know, communicative of your situation. And one of the biggest values that I've truly appreciated, especially in my recent friendship, with the friends I made in Las Vegas, who have become my closest friends, my best friends even, is our faith. Yes, we grew up learning how important it is to pray, but I've had a lot of difficult times adjusting, even in Vegas. And after meeting my group of friends, Jasmine, Bella, Diana, um, we've unlocked a new level of faith in terms of the trials that we went through in life, and we were able to incorporate prayer through the trials that we've had, and all the more so now that we're long distance. I'm not able to catch up with them as much as possible, but whenever I'm able to talk with them on the phone, um, and I hear about how difficult their life is, it hurts me. It makes me sad because I'm the type of person that I want to fix everybody's problems. I want to try help. I'm so excited about it. But being so far away, of course, I can't. I can only do so much, but I'm always here to listen, give advice if they need. But I think the biggest thing that we can do as a true friend is pray for them. And one of the things that I've appreciated when I was down and when I was able to vent to my friends was when they said, let's pray together, or I'll include you in my personal prayers. That gesture is so powerful and it's so meaningful, because not only can you place your trust in your friends, but you can also place your trust in our Almighty God. And I think that just shows how much love you truly have for your friends when you're able to pray together with God or include them in your personal prayers.
Wow, very inspiring. Chanel, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And I believe we can only agree with you and what you have mentioned. And yes, it's true, especially as members of the Church of Christ, right? Having the same faith and the Christian values are so important to us. And it's also what connects us, right? And many friendships are for example, built on church activities, right? Church duties. You have mentioned that you lived in Hawaii and then you moved to Las Vegas, right? And you also met your friends there. So that's very inspiring also to hear that even through the distance, that yes, you're having your long distance friendship, but you're still connected in a way. And also, what you have mentioned is that you're also praying for them, or that you're including them in your prayer, which is also a very powerful gesture, like you have mentioned. Thank you so much, Chanel. That was very inspiring for all of us to hear, and we will get back to you. We have a lot of comments of our dear viewers and listeners who are also sharing what friendship means to them. And we have, for example, Brother Mario Calvello, and he commented, "A good friend is always there when you need help." Hashtag Berlin on hashtag Meissen. And then we have from Sister Riza Jamoner, "To me, friendship feels like family." Hashtag Berlin, right? For example, if yes, from the Philippines, have moved here to a country that they haven't known, right? And if you're visiting a new local, right, it's also like they're your family, which also connects us, right? It's the faith, which makes it also special for us and feels like family, really. And thank you so much for your comment. And then we also have from Sister Irene Juliet Calvello, and she commented, "Patience is the key." Hashtag Berlin. Thank you so much, sister. And then we also have, again, from Brother Mario, and he commented, "I found my longest friend and I married her." Hashtag Berlin and hashtag Meissen. Very sweet, Paul. Thank you so much, Brother Mario. And then we also have from Sister Cecilia, and she commented, "To maintain lasting friendships is to build a strong bond of faith, building a consistent Christian communication, shared experiences, and a genuine care." Hashtag local of Heidelberg. And then we also have a last comment from Sister Vanessa Gawat, and she commented, "I met my longest and closest friend through the church. Our parents were friends before as well, and now we've been friends for over 20 years, and she's like a sister." Hashtag Hamburg. Thank you so much, Sister Vanessa, for sharing your comment, and to all of our dear viewers and listeners for actively participating. Don't worry if we haven't read out your comment. We will make sure that we will also read yours later on. But yes, before we continue with our next question, let's have a short station break.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesia ni Cristo.
It doesn't take something big to show love. The right and thoughtful choices made with care can make a parent smile and turn an ordinary day into something special.
Dishes done, floors clean, a surprise mom and dad when they get here.
Wow! Hello, son.
Mom, you're early.
The house looks great.
Plus, I'm done with my assignments.
Oh, really? Oh. You always do your chores without being told. We see your effort, Carl, and we're proud of you. Here, we got you something.
What? How'd you know I want this? Thank you.
A child who brings joy to their parents is blessed even without asking. In the same way, when we live to please God, He gives us more than we could ever hope for. A reminder from Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio.
Hello and welcome to INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio. Welcome back. And for those who have just tuned in, our topic for today is the beauty of friendship, building long-lasting bonds through our faith. And with that, we have invited our lovely Chanel, who's with us tonight, and also Alessandra. And of course, this topic is very ist sehr viel, also man kann sehr viel darüber sprechen, right? It's broad, so our dear viewers and listeners are also commenting in our YouTube live chat about their experiences about building lasting bonds, and it's all very inspiring. And yes, we're very curious to still know about more from Chanel's side and how her friendships are now that she lives in Germany, right? And has a new chapter in her life. We have a question that we will also like to ask you, Sister Chanel. So, Alessandra, would you like to go ahead?
Yes. We want to know, of course, now that there's a big time difference now with you being here in Germany and your friends maybe just waking up or going to sleep when you wake up. What are some practical tips or ways to stay connected with your friends despite maybe different schedules or busy schedules even?
I want to start with this tip first, may sound unconventional, but I briefly mentioned it earlier, was understanding that you're not going to talk to them all the time, that your friendship may be completely different, because not only you, in my case, time difference, it's long distance, but because there's so many obstacles. We have work, we have our personal schedules. Once you have the understanding that you guys won't be able to talk as much anymore, and that life can be busy, it sets a realistic expectation of how your friendship should be. So when you go in with that mindset, I think the next step is being flexible, setting a schedule. This is one of those times where you have to be an adult and actually like schedule your call time, your meeting times. And that's what I've been doing lately with some of my friends in Vegas, especially because around this time, I think it's around afternoon for them. When I go to bed, they're waking up, and vice versa. So of course, I would message them and ask, hey, are you available next week on this day at this time? Really taking into consideration how busy they might be. And just from there, just scheduling it. And if you can be flexible and make time for your friends, all the more power to you. So it's just catch up whenever you can, as much as you can, really. Just as long as you put an effort in your friendship, nothing can go wrong.
Yes. Those are very, very practical tips. And of course, in today's day and age, we have social media, or we're connected through modern technology. So it's even more easier for us to stay connected with our friends, to, just hit them up with a text here and there, or even a call. And a comment from Japan Rubik said, call them maybe once or twice, 2 times in 2 weeks. Hashtag Kaiserslautern, hashtag Schwäbisch Hall, hashtag Stuttgart, hashtag Heidelberg. So it is really, really just in, like you mentioned, Chanel, in planning and planning out your schedule beforehand, so that you can also stay connected with friends, and also prioritize them in a way. Diba? Um, Thank you so much for sharing your tips with us, Chanel. Now, before we continue together with Miss Malu, we will learn new German words and phrases in our segment German is Fun, Deutsch macht Spaß. And here, this is a tip for all those who maybe want to make new friends in the German culture. So lean back and relax, and most importantly, have fun. Viel Spaß!
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Hello everyone. Hallo zusammen. Wie geht's euch? Welcome to German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Today we'll take a break from our basic German lessons. We'll go on a cultural discovery. I'm Sister Malu Francisco, inviting you to join us on this special feature of German is Fun, Deutsch macht Spaß. Today we'll talk about a German afternoon coffee and cake. Auf Deutsch, Kaffee und Kuchen, or sometimes called Kaffee trinken. Between 2 and 5 in the afternoon, it's Kaffee und Kuchen. It's time to sit down with friends and family and chat to a treat of freshly brewed coffee and freshly baked cake. Germany is famous for its cakes and pastries. Perhaps you've heard that. And here's something we need to remember. The German language actually has 2 different words for cakes. Der Kuchen, die Torte. What's the difference? A Kuchen is usually dry or with a fruit topping or fruit filling. Torte. A torte has a rich filling such as whipped cream, buttercream, or anything layered. The layered wedding cake or birthday cake is a Torte. German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Kaffee und Kuchen is a meal on its own. In Germany, cakes and other sweet pastries are not served for dessert alone, as they are in some countries. We now join Brother Gert Lühmann in Berlin and his family.
Hallo.
Hello. We're now having our 4th meal. We're having marble cake with cream and drinking coffee and tea. With our right hand, we're holding the fork for the cake. We say a short prayer, then we wish each other guten Appetit. Enjoy your meal.
Guten Appetit!
The tradition dates back to the 17th century. Although there are changes in lifestyle with the passing of time, the tradition is still very much alive. Well, wherever you may be having an afternoon coffee and cake, you have something in common with the Germans. This has been today's episode of German is Fun, Deutsch macht Spaß. Ich bin Schwester Malu Francisco. Ich danke euch fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal on German is Fun, Deutsch macht Spaß. Bleibt gesund. Tschüss. German is Fun, Deutsch macht Spaß. German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
Dank, Frau Malu, for teaching us new words and phrases in German oder auf Deutsch. And to our dear viewers and listeners, if you're interested in learning more German vocabulary, you can search on YouTube INC Radio DZEM German is Fun, and there you can rewatch all the German is Fun episodes. Now moving on, Francis.
Thank you, Alessandra. And yes, getting back real quick to our German is fun. I hope that for those who are new here in Germany, Mrs. Malu helped us discover, right? What we can do actually, an activity, for example, as friends, right? Discovering new cafes and getting a coffee, or if you're not a coffee person, a tea, right? And eating it with a so-called Kuchen, Kaffee und Kuchen, right? That's what we call it here in Germany. And yes, also a very great activity for friends, right? Discovering something new and sitting together and yes, making the memories for the friends, right? So we hope that this episode of German is Fun was also helpful for you. And yes, you might also add that to your next activity here in Germany. And yes, so moving on to our next segment, we have invited our dear brother Scott Augustine for our CEU in Action, who will update us about the recently held activities here in the District of Central Europe.
Hello, yeah, Sister Francis. Goedemorgen, goedemiddag, goedenavond, guten Morgen, guten, good afternoon, and good day to everyone, beloved brethren. We know that it's an interesting topic that we are discussing, and thank you, sisters, for the continued knowledge and wisdom. Well, the activities that we had this week, actually, that just passed this last week was the uh, Neighborhood Appreciation Day that we had in the local congregation of Dordrecht, the Netherlands. And we could see here, with the help and mercy of the Almighty God, our neighbors uh, responded to our invitation. We know we're limited with the Netherlands language, but the people here in the Netherlands, they speak well English. And we could see that they appreciate it a lot, and they were able to see the chapel inside and renovation that was done to this edifice for them. Actually, it is a municipality monument, and it was back in 1913 February where they actually started their activities. But with the help and mercy of God, we were able to uh, renovate it, and now it is the house of worship of the local congregation of Dordrecht, the Netherlands. Thank you for the brethren who have united, and we continue to acknowledge every brother, every sister's effort in the activities that we're having in the Christian family organizations. It is very important, beloved brethren, because if we are united in activities like these, we will be able to bear fruits of righteousness. And let us continue to be involved in the activities launched by the church administration in the Christian family organizations. Sister Francis, thank you well. Thank you, Shun.
Thank you so much, Brother Scott, for helping us and for updating us, I would rather say, about the recently held activities here in the District of Central Europe. And we're very happy to see all of the brethren in each of the locals actively participating in all of these various activities and being united in all of them. And before we continue with our next segment, getting back to our topic conversation, we have promised that we would still read some comments out, and we will do that for now, since a lot of comments, we have a lot of comments actually from our dear viewers and listeners in our YouTube live chat. So we will just get real quick through them. So we will we have a comment from Sister Kenjin Lubunao, and she commented, I make an effort to send funny memes to share a laugh here and there despite the distance. Hashtag Berlin and hashtag Meissen. And then we also have another comment from Sister Riza, and she commented, I believe most of us are always on our phones, messaging our friends, even once or twice a week. It's something important to stay connected. Hashtag Berlin and hashtag Meissen. And then we have another comment, and it's it's from Brother Henry, and he commented, need a new friend? Come to Kaiserslautern. Hashtag Heidelberg and hashtag Kaiserslautern. So for those who are looking for new friends, Brother Henry's very open. So you might as well also visit Kaiserslautern, right? And also make new friends there. Thank you so much, Brother Henry. And then we also have from Brother getting back to our German is fun segment. He commented, I love to bake cake. And my son's always happy to get a special cake from his father for his birthday. And best regards from Brother Gerd from the local of Berlin and hashtag Meissen. Thank you so much, Brother Gerd, for sharing this comment with us and also for being in the episode of Our German is Fun. And yes, so Alessandra, what is our next segment? I believe everyone is very excited to hear about the most active clusters.
Yes, before I go on to the next segment though, I have one last comment from Sister Desiree and Angeles. Friendship are always there to understand, support, and advise what is best for you, and always together in faith. Hashtag Frankfurt. That is a very, very nice comment and a very nice way to round up our topic conversation, because now is, I think, the time most of us have been waiting for. We have to find out which clusters were the most active in the YouTube live chat last week. Let's find out who are the top 3 clusters.
Third place, Zurich cluster. Second place, Berlin cluster. First place, Heidelberg cluster.
Congratulations to all of our winners for last week's challenge. Continue sharing your comments in the YouTube live chat with the hashtag of your cluster for you to have the chance to win this week's cluster challenge. And of course, I want to shout out everyone who shared with us their tips and their inspiring stories with us in the comment section today. Now, looking at the time, Frances, what time is it?
It's shout time! Yay! Okay, we would like to, of course, thank our dear panelist, Chanel, for joining us this evening. And of course, we would like to give you the chance to also give out your shout outs.
Oh, yes, I have so many shout outs. And since today's episode is about friendship, I want to shout out my OG best friend, Adara Malapit, um, and as well as my Las Vegas friends, Jasmine, Diana, Bella, and of course my sister, my actual sister, Cheyenne, I guess. And now my best friend for life, who can't ever leave me, Mark Manalili. Thank you, miss you, love you all.
Thank you so much, Chanel, for being with us here in our broadcast for tonight and for sharing your inspiring stories and tips as well. And we hope to see you in our future broadcasts as well. And of course, we have our dear brother Scott, who is also with us still here in our panel. So, Brother Scott, well, who would you like to give your shout outs to?
Yes, we would like to Shout out to the brethren in this month of May who are celebrating their wedding anniversaries and birthdays, and literally to my family who is just right behind this wall, and to my friend and became my best friend, and now my wife, Sister Lisette, and my family members.
Thank you so much, Brother Scott, also for being with us here tonight in our INC radio show. And yes, so of course, we would like to ask, lastly, Alessandra, who would you like to give your shout outs to?
Of course, I want to give a shout out to Chanel and for our brother Scott for joining us in tonight's broadcast. And of course, a big shout out to everyone who watched and who listened to our broadcast tonight. Thank you to everyone for sharing your comments. Thank you also to our District CFO Advisor, Brother Scott Agustin. Thank you to our Assistant District Minister, Brother Jake Edick. And thank you to our District Minister as well as a belated happy birthday po, Brother Joel B. Catalan.
We would also like to thank our INC Media Productions Chief, Brother Montreville Boy, and to our INC Radio Station Manager, Brother Wally Ture. Thank you so much, Po. We would also like to give our thanks to our CFO Coordinator and CEBSI President, Brother Angelo Eranio Manalo. And most importantly, we would like to thank the church administration and our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. This has been INC Radio Central Europe Satellite Studio. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see each other next week. Bye!